Was Slytherin's house nasty reputation unfounded or unfair? In my opinion, their snaky reputation was definitely founded. There are many Death Eaters that targeted the students that belonged to Slytherin House. Voldemort himself was a Slytherin, and he was very focused on Slytherin House. And the heir of Slytherin is actually Voldemort. But the founder of Slytherin, he sort of set the precedent for kind of an unfair house. He didn't want any students that, witches or wizards that weren't purebloods, to become students at Hogwarts. So, no, I think their nasty reputation was pretty much earned. The part that I would say would be unfair would be that not every student in Slytherin House had the same nasty opinions as the others. Or you should say nasty at heart, because some of them did have the same opinions. And of course, I give you Severus Snape. He actually ended up turning to the good side in the end and protecting all the students at Hogwarts House. At least he tried. Not that he didn't have a very nasty persona and make their lives miserable in class, but he actually tried to protect him from Voldemort. So, in a way, that part is unfair. That every student might not actually have the same attitude at heart that Slytherin House does. But Slytherin House has a very type of propaganda that they're always pushing. It was so easy for Voldemort to move in and subjugate everyone and use Slytherin House at his disposal. And the Death Eaters sort of kind of zeroed in on Slytherin House. Now, the other part that is unfair is just because a student may be placed in Gryffindor or Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff doesn't mean they won't succumb to the same dangers or may have a nasty heart. There were some students in those houses that Voldemort petting grew. He absolutely could indoctrinate them because at heart they were quite mean. Now, let's not forget Harry Potter. He was placed in Gryffindor, but originally the house was going to place him in Slytherin. So that would be the only part I would say is not fair, is that you don't know which students belong where, or at heart what their true heart is like. They could, at the end of the day, pick a loyalty that is honorable and fair and protects everyone. They care about everyone. But as far as Slytherin House having an unfair or unfounded reputation, the track record doesn't show that. Death Eaters indoctrinate students. Slytherin House, rich families prefer their students to be, the nasty rich families, not the nice ones, prefer their students to be in Slytherin. If you remember Severus Snape, he was placed in Slytherin House, but many fans believe he should have been placed in Gryffindor because of his courage and where he chose his loyalties in the end. Sirius Black's family, they were very rich and very cruel. They were mean. They hated anyone that was not pure blood. They were cruel to their house elves. You name it, they were it. They were cruel to Sirius. But then the Hat placed Sirius Black in Gryffindor, even though his entire family had been placed in Slytherin. So the nasty families wanted their students to be placed in Slytherin for a reason. Slytherin House enabled everyone's cruelty. So absolutely, Slytherin House has very well earned their very mean and snaky reputation. So yes, Slytherin House has earned their very nasty and very prejudiced reputation. But that does not mean that every student belonging to Slytherin House will not choose the right, the noble path in the end.